you had kind of described how the needs for advertisers was kind of changing and, each month to month, depending on the period that you were going through and, where they were and what their need set was. Was there a different need set from your national base of clients versus your local base of clients as this time progressed, or were they somewhat similar? Were there differences?
The reality actually is that there was more similarities and more kind of shared needs than differences, which I may not have expected kind of coming into the job, and with the impact of COVID. The number one shared need that we've seen has been giving clients confidence that we could deliver their target audience despite the significant shifts in viewership behavior, triggered by things like people working from home and, as I said earlier, loss of sports programming. Sports is a really good example and top of mind for everyone at the moment. But what was fascinating is our ability to use our set-top box data to show us and our clients that the sports audience didn't go anywhere. They didn't stop watching TV. Their viewership just moved elsewhere, in particular to places like news. So what we're able to do is provide our clients with a way to continue to reach that same audience and provide near kind of real-time campaign performance insights. So as audiences continue to shift across all the different networks that we're able to deliver on, the advertiser can follow. That had a secondary effect actually as people leaned in to data insights more than we've seen people do it before. And that is a shift with both national and local, but I will say more on the local side, to audience-based buying rather than buying specific networks or day parts. And I think this trend is only going to accelerate as advertisers understand and trust in the data and what it's telling them. So they're able to follow their target audiences where they're actually watching across both television and streaming TV. And then, again, this is a bit of a compound thing because related to that shift, it's then opened up conversations with clients about the ROI on their spend by kind of moving to more of an audience-based execution. So we actually just completed an analysis of over 100,000, I think, campaigns and over 30 million commercial areas where we looked at. And it showed us that on average, campaigns that aired across more networks, so more breadth, had double the reach compared to campaigns that aired on less than 10 networks. And that was regardless of spend level. And we think it's a really significant finding that's going to kind of push an acceleration towards audience-based buys. So I think data and audience is one. The other one's around flexibility. Our small and medium-sized businesses were arguably hardest hit with the shutdown, and we needed to provide flexibility, not just in terms of kind of fit-for-purpose creative, but also thinking commercially about things like cancellation and payment terms. Well, for the national advertisers, we really leaned in again with the data to help them understand how we could support their desire for more flexibility in terms of deploying dollars into specific geographies based on the fact that different states were opening up at different times, which is obviously a very unique dynamic that we haven't seen before. So not only were we able to do that with our national clients, but we could also demonstrate at the same time our ability to deliver incremental reach into those specific markets that they wanted to deliver into. It complements their national spend. I think this is a really interesting insight for our company and for local more generally, as it's going to provide us an opportunity to work more with national advertisers post-COVID, particularly if dollars continue to move from upfront to scatter, and as national markets, as large marketers look for generally greater flexibility as they engage in advertising.
Yeah, it's interesting, and everything you're describing, what it sounds like to me, and maybe you anecdotally have heard this from clients, is that out of this unprecedented challenge, given the tools and given the opportunity to display the depth of the intelligence, actually you emerge better partners. Did you hear that from clients, or are you hearing that from clients that X number of months in, that can you feel that the depth of partnership that your operation has been raised within their eyes with respect to their short list of key partners? Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I do, and I can say that with confidence. And honestly, I think in times of swirl and uncertainty, kind of going to the facts and going to the data has been very calming, and it's highlighted something that has been there historically, but it's taken an event like COVID to really bring focus onto that capability. I think that's going to serve us well.
Yeah.
I'd also say at the local level, you know this, we've been serving local businesses in the communities that we work and live for years. And our relationships with those small business owners are long-standing and they're trusted. And so from the start of the pandemic, we really put a focus on asking our clients how we could support them, regardless of whether they were advertising for us, because we're in this for the long term with them. And we need them to feel that. And what happened because of that is it spurred new innovation on our side as we looked at how we could deploy a broader set of Comcast assets to support our clients as they were going through a really difficult time. So I'll give you an example on the local and an example on the national side. On the local side, we launched something called Hometown Hub on Comcast X1 platform, where viewers can go on demand to find TV shows, movies, sports, and other content that's specific to their kind of focus and references their local communities. And as part of this value proposition, we launched a We're Open area on X1 as part of Hometown Hub. They let customers know that our clients were still open for business, whether it be things like delivery or pickup or whatever that may be. And then we used our own TV inventory to drive traffic to that on-demand site on X1 to promote those local businesses. And we felt that was kind of pretty unique to Comcast. And on the national side, I think a really good example of innovation and how we've been supporting our clients to deepen partnership is with our automotive clients. There we launched a virtual automotive showroom on the Xfinity platform, giving the automotive manufacturers a chance to feature their cars, their vehicles, their models on a full-scale voice-activated virtual showroom on X1. So in addition for Comcast Xfinity customers, that gave them a chance to explore new vehicles in the comfort of their showroom through voice remote. And so I think those were two examples where we've been able to kind of lean in more deeply from a partnership standpoint.
Yeah, it sounds like, in a way, this folded the map on innovation. I mean, Comcast has always been known as a company that's going to bring the future faster. You talked about audience-based buying. We've talked about the integration of linear and digital before. We've talked about privacy-based things. Do you think that 2020? I'm going to ask you kind of a two-part question. First is, do you think that 2020, when we look back, it'll be as a time when the map was folded, when we were able to get a lot of data-driven innovation accelerated? And you mentioned structural changes. Can you talk a little bit more about what structural changes you think may be afoot based on all of this progress over the last few months?
Yeah, totally. I think firstly, there's no question 2020, by the way, not just in advertising, but for a bunch of reasons, is going to be looked at as a kind of transitional year that accelerates a lot of change across our society, as well as in advertising, and yes, moving to a more data-driven future. In terms of kind of the more kind of structural things I was referencing earlier, there are a number that we're focused on that we believe will happen, and that we're kind of very focused on driving against. The first, as talked about a couple of times, is the move to audience-based executions. I do think, and I do strongly believe, that context will remain really important, and I think we're going to see some really interesting ad experience innovation focused on that. But I think we're going to see a general shift to audience for some of the reasons I talked about before. The second is a pivot from thinking of digital video, thinking of digital as an add-on to linear, and a shift to multi-screen television just being the norm. A third is a move away from gross rating points and to impressions. And this one I feel strongly on, I think it's inevitable that if the two pivots I talked about above, i.e. moving to more multi-screen executions and audience-based, are to happen at scale, you have to be on an impression-based model.
Yes.
The fourth is a shift from, particularly for a company like ours and other kind of more television-focused companies, is a shift from top-of-funnel only measurement to full-funnel proof of performance. And the final one is a focus on accelerating workflow automation to make kind of multi-screen television easier to buy. Look, none of those things are groundbreaking insights. I know that, but what I think is interesting is that the mindset shifts that have taken place in the last 5 months relative to what may have happened pre-COVID. I think we're seeing an acceleration in 2-3+ years against those pivot points as it pertains to the mindset shift that needs to happen. And that's a huge, huge opportunity for the industry. And so for me, the question is not if those pivots happen, those structural shifts happen, but when they become the norm, and who in the industry is going to take the torch and lead to make the change happen.
For a company whose roots are very much in local advertising, it sounds like you are more than ready for these structural changes and are one of the leaders in that. Is that an interesting transition? Again, given the roots of the company and given the vision for the future and the tool set that you have in terms of, culturally, structurally, and in pivoting. Is that a smooth transition for you and your assets?
It's a complex. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But I feel very confident in the assets we have and our ability to drive against those pivot points. Look, our roots are very much in local advertising. And that's important because, as I talked about earlier, the trusted relationships that we have with small businesses in the communities that we live and work in, again, continue to be foundational to our success. In particular, as marketing options only increase for those advertisers, which leads to even more complexity. Delivering business results for our advertisers is number one in terms of the hierarchy of needs. And I'm confident we've got the assets to do that better than our competitors and also be able to prove it. But in addition, do that with the right consultative and trusted service. That said, we are not a local advertising sales business anymore. We're not. We're an audience delivery company. Tied to the 4 or 5 pivot points I talked about in the last question you asked me, we're in the business of delivering data-informed, audience-based, multi-screen solutions that are backed by measurable proof of performance. Our ability to deliver with geo-sophistication, supported by kind of consultative sales, particularly in our local communities, is absolutely a differentiator, but it's within the overall proposition. So, we were a local advertising sales business. We're not anymore. We're an audience delivery company.